We are heading to a Newshub Special, very big news that concerns all of us here in this country, so get ready for that one. And then if you are watching this on TV3,
Kia ora, good afternoon. We're interrupting CRC Motorsport this afternoon to take you live to Parliament, where incoming Prime Minister Chris Hipkins is due to speak after being confirmed as Labour's leader this afternoon. The motor racing will continue to be broadcast live on Eden and resume here on 3 after this news conference. Well, it's been a landmark day at Parliament as Hipkins was confirmed as the incoming Prime Minister, New Zealand's 41st. Flanked by outgoing PM Jacinda Ardern, Hipkins did the walk across Parliament's bridge just after lunchtime, making his way through the waiting gauntlet of media. And when Hipkins and Ardern arrived at Labour's caucus meeting room, they were warmly received with cheers and flowers from their fellow Labour MPs. And from there, they got down to the official business of confirming Hipkins as leader. Let's go now to our political editor, Jenna Lynch at Parliament. Kia ora, Jenna. Hipkins' Deputy Prime Minister has now been confirmed.
That's correct. As expected, Carmel Sepuloni has been confirmed as the next Deputy Prime Minister of New Zealand. Carmel Sepuloni will become our first Pacifica Deputy Prime Minister, something that the Pacifica members of her caucus were quite forward.
Jenna Lynch, tēnā koe. Let's go live now to the theatrette at the Beehive, where the incoming Prime Minister Chris Hipkins and the incoming Deputy Prime Minister Carmel Sepuloni will be addressing media for the first time together. Let's listen in.
Kia ora koutou katoa. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for coming along. And to those at home, thanks for tuning in on a Sunday afternoon. Earlier today, the Labour Party caucus, the Labour team of MPs, unanimously endorsed me as their new leader and as the next Prime Minister of New Zealand. I've been humbled by the support shown by my colleagues, but also really excited. Pressure points have changed and the sort of challenges that we're facing have changed, and you'll continue to see us doing that.
That was the incoming Prime Minister Chris Hipkins and the incoming Deputy Prime Minister Carmel Sepuloni at the theatrette at the Beehive for the first time speaking to media together. Chris Hipkins noted that he was voted in unanimously by his colleagues today. He said he'll provide strong, stable, focused leadership, but will remain a down-to-earth Kiwi. He wants to make life better for all New Zealanders, and reiterated becoming the PM is the biggest privilege and biggest responsibility of his life. He thanked Jacinda Ardern for her critical leadership and also acknowledged the hate she had received by some people, and really doubled down on that and said women in leadership should receive the same respect as their male counterparts. He said he's going to get right into the job. He said there will be a reprioritisation of some non-essential programs, a policy reshuffle, if you like. He'll also reorganise Cabinet this coming week. He sort of talked about some things he'd like to do, although he wouldn't be drawn on specific policies, but he does want to lift incomes. He wants to strengthen health and education for Kiwis. He wants to make home ownership more accessible and attainable. He said he wants to re-engage young people, strengthen mental health services and help those people who find themselves in that crime space, but as well as obviously deterring that sort of activity. He is still the incoming Prime Minister at this stage. He will officially take the title of Prime Minister on Wednesday morning, and then he will have his first cabinet and then speak to media for the first time as the official Prime Minister of New Zealand. He also confirmed today that the Deputy Prime Minister of New Zealand will be Carmel Sepuloni. He said they entered Parliament together in 2008 as they headed into opposition, a tough time for the Labour Party. He said she's been an outstanding minister. She's notably held the portfolio of Social Development Minister. He said that she's brought a record number of people out of off those benefits and into work, and she also led the wage subsidy scheme through the COVID-19 pandemic. And on that, through the COVID-19 pandemic, he said he was offered it became a health crisis, of course, and that's turned into an economic crisis, and that will really be at the heart of some of his policy announcements and where we'll see his leadership heading this year coming into the election in October, of course. Well, that's it for this Newshub special today. We will have the very latest on Newshub Live at 6 p.m. tonight. We will return you now to CRC Motorsports live coverage. I'm Laura Tupou. Good afternoon.